All right, Shell. Another day, another morning. It's March 26th, 2024, as we are recording this video. And this is the third week together, isn't it? Both of us talking about weight as a doorway. So I'm using, we are also playing as a role model here, as well as solving the real problem that, not problem, the challenge or that I have, that I'm trying to resolve, why I carry so much weight right now, though I'm very active and all that. So this week, as I was reflecting, based on, we were discussing in our previous meeting, identifying certain things. And, I think I remember something like welcoming my, challenges, right? I think something we discussed about burden as a gift.
Yes, the burden as
Okay,
we were talking about chaotic days and how you're
yes,
normally an organized person. And so we looked at
yeah.
that burden as a gift. Yes.
Yes, burden as a gift, and how much I carry this burden of sharing with the world, sharing. I have ton of ideas. I wake up with this excitement that I will share. While taking shower, I have so much ideas, and then by end of the day, I don't share. I just go to bed saying that, hey, I did not do much, right? So I try to reflect on that. Here is something I have come up with today, this morning, as I was reflecting on a whole thing. So, as a lot of things are rooted in our childhood, right? So, in my childhood, at certain point of time, my grandfather was a yogi, and there's a place where a lot of people come to him.
Mhm.
Okay, so as a 11 or 12 year old, there are a lot of good things I learned, but there was also something like a lot of people gathered, right? There's a social, like it's almost you can think like how celebrity children grow up. They are like kind of exposed to a lot of people and all that. So there are certain programs that happen in the ashram. We call ashram. And there are about 800 to 1,000 people gathered. Okay,
Okay.
so when that gathering happened. This is something I noticed now. Okay,
Mhm.
uh, as a young girl, you will see a lot of women, trying to show up. They are trying to be, as women, we all want to be visible, right, to people.
Mhm. Right.
And then how a lot of people are trying to, put there, trying to fit in, maybe trying to wear good clothes or jewelry, or showing some of the expertise, right? How somebody is good in talking, how somebody was good in bargaining, even being a vegetable, or the jewelry or the clothes, all that, right? The young mind we capture, how I want to be fitting in and want to be seen, right?
Right.
That's a big thing. And now I get really frustrated that I don't I'm not visible. I'm
Mhm.
not visible to anybody there. I'm sure I have three other siblings. They also go through that, right? Now, as I'm growing up, even between the sibling, right, you're trying to compete. Okay, somebody is good looking, somebody is very smart in certain skill, right?
Mhm.
But parents are not saying that you're not good, but when somebody is very smart or good looking, when somebody is very smart in doing stuff, who am I? I must be a dumb person.
Mm, yeah.
So that's the body image I carry. Though I'm good at certain things, right? Maybe my sister looks at me and I'm good at something, and she goes in a place, oh, I'm not as good as her, right? So there's a
Mhm.
competition. There is a social media while growing up, though it is not like Facebook or Twitter or any of that, but we still have a social media where you are exposed to so many people.
Yeah,
Now,
when you have 800,000 people showing up,
yeah,
8,000 or 800 or even 80 people showing up,
yes,
there's a
yes,
comparison trap is what I like to call it that's going on.
comparison.
Yeah. Yeah.
and and for a very long time, I'm recently, after doing this course, even after doing the course, now I'm able to understand what is body image.
Hmm.
Body image, people think like how you look, how you present yourself. I don't, it goes much deeper than that. Now I'm able to understand. It's like, you want to be somebody, right? You want to be showing up to the world. Now, if you have to show up to somebody and to the world, you have to be perfect in some subject,
Mm,
you have to be so perfect, and then you have to look certain way, and you have to fit in, right? You have to fit in, and you
yes.
have to be looking good, talking good. In the world as a woman, again, in the whole in that the other things we grasp as women, right, in our world, that you have to be perfect mother, perfect in many things, right, as a woman, all that, just grabbing and soaking all that. I developed certain body image. Now, with this body image, I'm trying to fit in while talking to people, though there are real expression. I don't want to speak. I have to be looking good. I want to be in your good books. So I want to be talking good, fitting
Mm,
in all the time.
sure.
So I'm a mess. Like, I like the word that you said. I'm a mess. Carry
Mhm.
so much weight on my shoulders. So
Yeah,
this is what I had to share with you
no, I
today.
love that so much. And this has me thinking, was when we first started before we got on the recording today, I was
Mhm.
talking to you about being a mess in a different way. I was like, this is who I am, and this is what people want. They want me just to be authentic and to show up. And
Yes.
so this kind of like comparison trap, or this body image idea that we grow up with, the these certain rules that we start to kind of follow because of
Yep.
what we view in the world. We watch other people doing it and we think, oh, that's how we're supposed to be too.
Yep.
And maybe it's the parent saying, oh, I wish you were a little bit more like your sibling here in this area or that area. If you
Yep.
just applied yourself a little bit more, maybe you'd be a better student, and that kind of thing. And so we get this message of who we think we're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I were talking this morning about the fact that the real message is who we've already been created to be at the beginning. And,
Yes.
and so when we wrestle with what the culture or what we've grown up learning and experiencing as a body image identity, we get trapped in that, and it's false, and it paralyzes us. It makes us not want to go out there and put ourselves out there and tell
Yes.
people,
Uh-huh.
the beautiful things that we're learning when it comes to the
Yeah.
psychology of mind body eating.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps us from thinking, oh, I don't have this degree, or I don't have the perfect body yet, I haven't reached my weight
Mm.
loss goal, so I can't
Yes.
go out there and share. And the opposite is true, is that
Uh-huh.
we're created by we talked about our higher being. You have your goddess, I have my God. And that is the creation of who we are. And so we
Mm.
keep going and looking for all these answers from everyone else about our identity, when
Yes.
it's solid. It's already who we are. We are already carrying around our true identity to begin with. Our true body image is how
Mm.
we think and feel and move and show up in the world.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with our size of our pants or our shirts.
That's so true, right? So going back to my, I know it's such a beautifully you said it, Shell, right? Like, I have all this, grasp so much knowledge, the life wisdom, all that is there. I really would like to share, but I'm making myself big here by saying, okay, I don't look perfect. I don't have the skills. I don't have all this because so and so things happened in the past, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not as good. And now I stop sharing the gifts to people, right?
Mhm.
And the creator has made us so unique. So every single person has these gifts. We could be sharing this gift to people. Instead, I hold them, store them in my stomach,
Mm.
and then I have all this burning desire to, oh, okay, oh my God, I have this, I have that. And another thing I like from you, anytime I watch any video on the online or be it work anywhere, oh gosh, I have such I have really good ideas.
Mhm.
Why am I not giving that permission to go ahead and present, right? That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we think we have to have someone else's permission before we can put
Yes.
our ideas out there. And the reality is that if we already have this innate wisdom inside of us,
Mhm.
and so we don't have to seek permission from anywhere but our source. And
Correct.
we're
Yeah.
in alignment, with our ethics and our, and
Yeah.
our design, our way of being, then we have full permission to be able to share that. And I think this is the gift, is that, we're not medical doctors. We're not, giving a diagnosis. We're looking at symptoms of our culture, of how we live in the world, especially when
Right.
it comes to body image. And
Mhm.
it's like, who gets to tell us what that's supposed to look like?
Correct. Yes.
And yeah, we want to, we have some things that we do because of our belief systems. I believe that we're supposed to take good care of what we have been given. That includes our body, but that doesn't mean that we have to be stick thin, or I'm thinking of men being super muscular. It's like, no, we all have
Yeah.
different body shapes and sizes, and we're not going to fit into a box. We all can't look the same. We're not designed to.
Right.
And
Right.
so when you give yourself permission to speak, you know,
Mm.
and you think about your childhood and your upbringing, what would you like to share with someone who's maybe in our age, our stage of life, or even somebody younger? What would the advice be that you would give them, that you have gained the knowledge of in, just doing the psychology of mind body eating, doing some of the other modalities that you're interested in, um, the healing practices that you're working in that realm? What would be some good advice you could give someone else today?
It depends on the age range, right? So I think if we are talking to children, here are something like, looking at who we are at core. Something like, okay, when I look at my picture from say 3 or 4 year old or
Mhm.
5 year old, and look, so maybe, for children it's different, right? When we ask them, so looking at them, whatever they are wanting now, looking at the picture, does that picture already, or the person or the girl who already have it, right?
Mhm.
Most probably we all have it. Suppose I want to be very beautiful girl, chirpy girl. Yeah, I know you're already there. There's
Mhm.
nothing like, right? They're looking at that. So what we are talking about, the creator, or so like, and some, I don't know right away, but then having something like a questionnaire or something activity, for them to remind how unique they are, the people are, right? That
Yeah,
is one.
I love that.
And
And you said questionnaire, but it could also just be a journal. Like they could write and discover, what does my creator say about me? And
yeah, yes. Mm-hmm,
I love
mm-hmm,
that you gave the vision of that picture of that little girl. In an emotional intelligence class that I did, our
mm-hmm.
instructor, he had us look at our picture when we were little, when
Yes.
when we were innocent, our essence of who we were before life came in and gave us a different story.
Yeah, right.
And so I
Right.
think it's such a great reminder that, we can, all of us can go back to that age of innocence before life came
Mhm.
in and told us we should look this way, we should act this way, we should be this way. And we can relate to that innocence there, and from that place make decisions
Yeah.
going forward.
So since we are playing the role model, and that's a real challenge for me, Rachel, right now, like one of the need the mind show says that, okay, show up to the world, right? Or whatever gifts, and I had to share with the world, right? Which we are doing anyway. Together, we are, both of us, we are doing, right? Now, if I look back at my picture, when I was, say, typically around 7 or 8 year old, that picture, I was already leader. I was already leader. I had so much confidence.
Mhm.
Now, when I look back, really, when I look back and look at this girl picture, right, I was super confident at that point of time in my life. So I think, like core values or just writing down all the things you have and just looking at the challenge and, look at the core who you are, you most probably we all have it. Whatever we think we have a challenge today, we all have it. This is one example I would like to bring. So,
Mm. I like that so much because it makes me think of the inherent strengths that we all have. We're all unique and different, and we
yes.
all have these gifts and talents or these strengths inside of us that make us so unique. And it's like I was that little girl that was really super shy.
Mhm.
So me discovering what I wasn't that big confident girl that you were, but my shyness, my uniqueness was a softening, a gentleness, an approach to
Mhm.
invite other children that were shy also into my
Yeah,
group and
right.
make them my little
Yeah,
community.
right.
And so that's a strength in of itself that's a lot different than someone who's got maybe some boldness or some
Mhm.
confidence is like
Yeah,
your unique giftingness is what the world needs now today, and it was established when you were first created.
yeah,
I love
yes.
that so much.
What I loved about your story, Shell, and this is something I was talking to a friend recently. Suppose you have a very fragrant flower which is very filled with the fragrance, right? Maybe it's not really like a very vibrant color flower, right?
Mhm.
But when you put in your room, there is a fragrance, right? The room is filled with that fragrance, right?
Mhm.
So, so whatever you're sharing, the shy person, or when somebody looks at you, there is such a calm presence, right? Such a coolness, and somebody, when people are very cool and calm in this world, people look for such people, you feel like, oh, I wish I had that calmness or coolness. And then, naturally people are attracted, right? So that's a gift. That's a gift, very like staying in the maybe on the side, but the fragrance, it just spreads in the room, and people can notice that,
Well,
right?
I think that's the beauty of it so much. We had kind of started out talking about body image, and you had also mentioned, we get into this perfection mindset that we have to be perfect in
Yes.
order
Yeah.
to be useful. We were talking about if we're contributing or not contributing to the
Yeah.
world, to
Yeah.
society, stuff.
Right. Right.
So that perfectionism is actually the lie that keeps us
Mm-hmm.
from being our true natural self,
Percent.
because it
Mm-hmm.
says, "Oh, I'm shy, but I wish I were like Mina and I had all this boldness and confidence." And it's like,
Yeah.
no, the world needs all of it. It needs all the different personalities and the different body shapes and sizes and the
Mm-hmm.
uniqueness and the giftedness of all of us in order to have a healthy environment and a healthy culture. And unfortunately, we have to address that perfectionism is a lie that doesn't really serve our community very well, because it says until I'm good enough, then I can go and contribute. But until then, I have to stay over here and keep working on fixing myself. But the beauty of what we're kind of discussing today is we don't have to fix anything, because this is inherently who we are to begin with.
Correct, right? Yes. So such a beautiful, perfect, conversation. What I take away from this, so I started with body image.
Mm,
I could identify where this is coming from. Why, I have so much of this, like, interest to share my gift, but I'm not able to because of the perfectionism.
mhm.
Instead, what I do, okay, I store all that, and there's a frustration. I end up eating. I end up doing something else, right? And I try to work out or do this. There's so much burden by end of the day. So this week, um, I think before this meeting started, I have shared with you my own ideas of identifying my own gift. So I have written this little affirmation for myself, that the self talk, like a radio that goes on in my head, saying that, oh, you are not contributing, you have the idea, you look, you are like, you have weight, and you can't go and present all this gift, right? So that's one way of looking at it.
Mm.
Now, what we are talking about. Now I'm going to change that program. I'm going to look at who I am at the core, right? And this beautiful gift, whatever we have, right?
Yeah.
And we just discuss about two of our gifts, you know. So I'm going to write down this gift, look at that, and then who says I'm not contributing? I'm already contributing. That's another thing I have written down anyway. As a mother, as an employee, as a wife, and as a volunteer, I'm already contributing so much to the world, right?
Yeah.
Those are the things. Now I'm inviting this chaos with the work and the home and all that. I'm inviting all that and going to practice for this whole week the affirmation and accepting the gift who I am.
I love that so much. And I can't wait to hear next week what you discover during that journey.
Mhm.
'Cause I think this is a lot of it for the people that we want to work with, is to help
Yes.
them recognize that these are really simple concepts in themselves, but they're very powerful tools. Because if I have this verse that I use for my clients that says to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And so this is part of that act of just discovering, if I can renew my mind, that thinking that says, oh, I'm not contributing, I'm not good enough. And we could go, wait a minute, that's just not true. That's part of that perfectionism that says, I think I should be something other than I'm not. And that
Yeah.
meaning I'm not good enough. And it's like, that's not true at all. And it's like, if we can start to replace those thoughts with that, the truth, the core truth of who we are, and how we are created and designed to, in the different jobs we have, and the different if it's being a mother, I'm a grandmother now, so it's like I
Mhm.
have certain gifts and responsibilities to give to my children, to my husband, to my clients, to my
Yes.
my community. And so from that place of truly starting to understand who I am and how I was designed and created, and then I step out in faith, I have to kind of build some trust there. We build that trust by taking those thoughts and doing those mantras on a daily basis,
Yes.
and utilizing the truth of what they are and what they stand for, to help support and strengthen the old system that wasn't really working for us. And it was kind of built there in a way, like I said at the beginning, when you see 800,000 people gathering and they're dressed a certain way and they're talking a certain way, and you think, oh my goodness, someday I want to be like this. And we don't
Yeah.
even realize we innately inside of us are already that. We don't
Yes.
have to try to become something else. And I think through that, you said this, instead of thinking the negative thing and then, using food to kind of comfort and
Mhm.
to support that kind of low energy feeling of not being enough in the world and not contributing enough. Now we get to replace that with the truth that we are here to contribute. We have gifts and talents to contribute. And
Yeah.
then we won't be relying so much on going to food for comfort, because we won't need the comfort. The comfort comes in with the truth, with how am I talking to myself on a daily basis? Um,
Yes.
where is it showing up that I need to support myself a little bit more with those identity statements?
Thank you so much, Shell. I think this is the takeaway for me. And thank you for anybody who is going to watch this video and get if they want to reflect or if they want to get in touch with us. We are coaches.
Yes.
We can help them, but they can also do the homework. They can also do this work.
Yes, they can, and it's such an easy work, and yeah, they can definitely reach out to ask. Thank you so much again for always bringing something um, very true to our lives to the table, so that we can unpack it,
Right.
discuss it, and examine it. And I love, like I said, once again, the psychology of mind body eating has really helped us to recognize that
Mm-hmm.
any of these issues that we face are beautiful gifts for us to learn and grow.
Right. Right. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.